students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a lovely week. Hi, honey. Hi, Nancy. Welcome, members. This is a members chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. It's great to watch. You have lots to learn here. And I will host an all chat class in about 90 minutes that will be listening section, practice, and answers. Hi, Gian. Good to see you as well. Welcome again, members. As usual, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have lots and lots of reading materials. We actually have audio for our reading to help you improve your reading fluency. We're one of the only companies, maybe the only company, who has audio readings for all of our exams as well. Welcome, Carolina. Hi, Sammy, Rashika, Natalie. Our academic website looks like this with the blue background, and you can click that big red button to join the premium package. And our general website looks like this with the green background, and you can click that big red button. But we are an official IELTS test registration center online for Saudi Arabia, and we have official British Council certified agents. So if you have questions, let us know. We are happy to help. And you can send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, if you have any questions. Of course, we have apps, Academic IELTS Help app, links to aehelp.com, General IELTS Help app, links to gieltshelp.com. Great, we have lots and lots of members in the class now. It's fantastic. If you like paper books, you can order our books from Amazon, aehelp's Academic IELTS or ghelp's General IELTS. All right, everyone, let's get into some reading. Today's reading is reading passage 2 coming out of our third exam. And this one starts with a list of headings. So we are going to look at this list of headings question in just a moment. But first things first, let's look at the title. Okay, so always look at the title of the passage first. Here we have this wonderful statue. And to the left of the statue, we have the topic, why study philosophy? So whenever you have a question for the title, what does that mean? Why do you think the author puts a question for the title? So this is a typical kind of strategy in writing for the author. Why do you think, members? So today's passage is a bit more challenging. It's passage 3. And it's good for you to know this. So why does an author, or why, and I can also say when. So why and when does an author state a question for the title of a passage? It's important for you to know this, and this will also help you to know when you should use questions in writing as well. So what do you think, members? Why would an author put a question for a title? Most titles are usually a statement or a few words. So Tanya says, the text will likely contain some answers and arguments. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and Rajveer says maybe the author themselves are not absolutely sure about it, and they want us to answer it or think about it. So Rajveer, Tanya, you're both correct. Okay, it's a combination of that. Okay, so this type of title or a question title, question title is used when the author presents a debate that is subjective and draws the opinion of the reader, okay? Or challenges. I'm actually looking for another word, but it's not popping into my head right now for draws and challenges here. Elicits, not quite. Anyway, it'll come to mind here in a second. All right, so yeah, this is when a question is used for the title, okay? So a question is used in the title when the author presents a debate, so pros and cons or two sides of the argument, and it's subjective and draws challenges. And there's one other point here, and perhaps because it is a frequently asked question. Okay, all right. So I'm sure some of you have come across these kinds of questions when you have people studying psychology like I did, or philosophy especially, and then people around them are like, what are you going to do with that? Like, is there a job that a philosopher can do besides being a teacher? So like, what is that good for? Why would you even study philosophy? What's the use of that, right? So it's kind of a question that we often ask, like, what's the secret to a happy life, right? It's debatable. It's thought-provoking. The word that I was looking for is provoking. Okay, so see, once I start speaking, it comes to mind. So a question title is used when the author presents a debate that is subjective and provokes the opinion of the reader. Okay, and perhaps because it's a frequently asked question that we often think about. So that's why it's used. Otherwise, we never use it. Okay. So you should not use questions, for example, in your IELTS Task 2 essays, okay? It's not a good idea, all right? You should use statements. Okay, so why study philosophy? So let's visualize this a little bit, and let's give some thoughts around it. So why would anybody choose to study philosophy? What is the logic? And this will perhaps answer why study psychology and some of these other social sciences like sociology as well. So what do you think? What does your logic tell you? Why would you want to study philosophy? With a difficult text like this, members, you definitely want to think about this before you start reading. Okay? So Honey says to understand human attitude. Okay. Abhishek says to understand in-depth knowledge of life. Okay. All right. Sure. So here is where, for this kind of a topic, students, and I really strongly advise you to do this when you're on the IELTS exam. So anytime you see an abstract topic like this one, take an extra step to really visualize and predict the information, as it will be a more challenging read. Okay, so why study philosophy? The answers I'm getting so far is to have a deeper knowledge of life. Sure. Okay. PP says to understand life and its principles, to sharpen independent thinking. Sure. I would say, simply put, to improve thinking, to improve logic, to be better at argument. And why is that good? So why would a person want that? So why would a person want a deeper understanding of humans? Or why would a person want to be able to argue, debate better? What is the utility? So what could you use something like that for? Okay? Barha says to study ideas and beliefs about life. Ali says to expand our understanding. And why? Why would those be good? What's the utility? Okay. So Carolina says to improve relationships. Okay. To clearly convey ideas. Yeah, those are great answers. So improving relationships. Hey, Jean, very good. To have better negotiation skills. Okay. Okay, so here's a question. So what kinds of jobs could a person with a philosophy degree pursue other than teaching? What do you think? So now that you've thought about this, in case any of you are thinking about going into a degree with philosophy, what do you think? What kind of jobs? Mahmoud, Al-Rahal, welcome to our group of members. Send me an email so I can hook you up with those exclusive videos. Honey says maybe a therapist, right? Analyze a person's problems, challenges, communicate ideas clearly. Why not? Some type of therapist. I can see that. Absolutely. Abhishek says go into sales and marketing. Right. Argue and convince people to buy products, right? Sure. Absolutely. Okay. Sales and marketing. Oa says, why not politics? Absolutely. Counselor, consultant. All right. Yeah, I agree 100%, right? Being advisors as well. In fact, if we really think critically and we visualize it, we will probably remember that throughout history, philosophers and politics were often very closely related to each other. So Pipi says social worker. Hajin says motivational speaker. Absolutely. All of those are good. Yeah. Maybe some of you have heard about this profession as well, a life coach. Right? Absolutely. A writer, Devansh. Very good. So clearly there are lots of opportunities for a person who is an expert at arguing and expressing ideas, right? Yeah, definitely. Okay, so if some of you were apprehensive about a degree in philosophy, now you realize that, hey, it's maybe not that bad of a degree at all. All right, so is the passage going to be about this information? Maybe, maybe not, but now we have a lot of good ideas around the question of why study philosophy. Absolutely. Okay, now we have a good idea about this, all right? Okay, so now we go back to the questions and we go back to the top, the list of headings. Remember, we skipped those, so now we can come back to these and have a little bit of a closer look at these list of headings questions where we have to decide what the title will be for each paragraph. So basically this question, for those students who don't know, list of headings, you have to read a paragraph and then you have to choose the correct title, okay? So here we go. Number one, just read it. Try to understand it, of course, and then as best as you can, paraphrase it. So reasons as the basis for knowledge. What's another way to say reason as the basis for knowledge? I would say logic as a foundation for ideas, okay, or truths perhaps. So logic as a foundation for ideas, reason as the basis for knowledge. Ali says causes as the fundamentals of facts. Yeah, Ali, not bad. It's reason here is not the same idea that you're thinking. It's not like causes, okay? In some ways it's related, but that's not the actual meaning of reason here. Here it's like the noun to reason or reasoning as the verb, okay? So it's connected to cause. There's a relationship there, but not quite the same. The rest of it is good though, okay? Abhishek says arguments as the beginning for skills. Yeah, skills, knowledge. Skills is only a subset of the idea of knowledge. So knowledge is broader than just skills, Abhishek, but otherwise not bad. Okay. Ali with facts. That's a good paraphrase, facts for knowledge. Okay, that's great. Sammy says, proof is fundamental to wisdom. Proof, Sammy, again, a little bit off, but not a bad try. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're going through, and notice how there's different ways to do it. So Ali, Abhishek, and Sammy came up with some different ways to paraphrase that. Okay, the relation between reason and math, so connection between logic or debate. Okay, and math is arithmetic, I believe. My spelling is correct. Yeah. So another way to say math is arithmetic. Okay. The end goals of empirical pursuits. So the ultimate aim of truths. Okay. Of seeking the truth. If I want to be even more accurate, seeking the truth. All right. Honey says the bridge between cause and algebra. Again, reason here is not the same idea as cause. Honey, think about reason as reasoning. There's actually another very important definition of the word reason. The verb to reason. Okay, all right? So think about the verb to reason. Okay, if you're not familiar with it, look it up. Okay, is Socrates man or a mortal? So is Socrates male or living? Okay, philosophy as the pursuit of knowledge and truth. Philosophy as seeking information and reality, math versus reason, so arithmetic versus logic, the differences, or versus debate. Rhetoric is another way to say that. Okay, using the right tool, applying the right method. Okay, that one, applying the right method. Now, when you practice this kind of paraphrasing, you'll go quite quickly, okay? And for those students who have done this before, you should be pretty fast here. Sammy says the final ambition of empirical studies. Sammy, I think that's a really nice paraphrase, okay? Abhishek says the final achievements of seeking empirical truth, okay? Amrita, pursuit means to go after, to seek. Okay, so a police car is pursuing the criminal. The criminal is trying to get away. The thief is trying to escape, and the police officer. We often will say the police officer is in hot pursuit of the criminal. It means they're really running after the criminal or driving very fast to catch the criminal. So hot pursuit. Okay. I think for you video gamers out there, I believe there's a very famous video game called Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Okay, all right. Essential debate in education, so a fundamental argument in pedagogy. Okay, another way to say education is pedagogy. So central debate, fundamental argument, pedagogy. There's always a couple ways to express the same idea, okay? So never get lost. When you're practicing this at home and you're like, whoa, this is really hard, I don't understand what's going on, don't panic. Grab a thesaurus, open it up, and start reading, okay? All right, number 9, the lack of practicality as philosophy's downfall. So the inability of real-world application as philosophy's demerit. Okay, downfall here would be a demerit. The value of education in practice, so the true worth of pedagogy applied to real life. Purity as beauty, so purity, clarity as the aesthetic. Okay, so those would be some other ways to paraphrase. All right. Okay, everyone. Yeah, I can see the need for speed. Affirmations, thank you. So now let's look at the end here. I'm just going to shrink this a little bit. And let's look at the end here and see if we have some more help before we begin reading. Okay, so here we have a paragraph completion, and we have some choices of words that we can complete this summary with. We're not going to read we're not going to read the words. We're just going to read the paragraph. That will help us get a bit more idea. So this is reading, everyone. So let's read a little bit together, okay? Read with me and read aloud, students. Whenever you can, get in some of that aloud reading where you can hear your own voice, okay? All right. Mahmoud Al-Rahal says, a major discussion in teaching. Yeah, absolutely, Mahmoud. Good on you for chiming in right away. That's great. So, Mahmoud, a major discussion in teaching is a good paraphrase for a central debate in education. A major discussion in teaching. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here we go. Read with me. Philosophy teaches us how to reason, which in turn can help us deconstruct something. Students schooled in the precepts of reason are able to differentiate between an argument which follows from the given premises and one that does not and is something. Force of opinion has no impact on the something of the opinion. This is because forcefulness is the wrong something for the job of convincing someone of a viewpoint. In physical battles, the correct implementation is. In discursive arguments, it is something alone which leads to the truth. Okay, maybe I'll make it a bit darker so you have a bit more contrast here. Let me do that. Okay, is that better? A little bit more clear, a little bit more contrast. Okay, then we have some multiple choice. Multiple choice, you want to do the same kind of paraphrasing in the real test in your mind. Okay, and at home, do it on paper. So mathematics and reason are, arithmetic and logic or discourse are. Okay. All right, good. I'm happy that's better. Let me know, students, if anytime you feel, it's a bit too bright or something's going on, just let me know, okay? All right, what differentiates philosophy from the sciences is that, and these are kind of statements, so we don't need to do too much. We don't read the choices. That's just wasting our time, okay? All right, and then we have passage 3. So this is actually passage 2 in this case. Okay, looking good. So we've got multiple choice, summary completion, list of headings, fantastic, and this beautiful topic on philosophy. All right, let's get into it. Here we go, members. Read with me, okay? Now, when you read, try to understand as much as possible. You don't have to understand every word. You don't have to understand every idea, okay? You want to do what's called holistic reading, where you understand the central ideas and the main ideas, because from that you can deduce the minor ideas and you can deduce the logic, okay? All right, so always focus on the main idea rather than the small details. Clear? Okay, good. So here we go from the top. There are two schools of thought when it comes to education. One side believes that education should give students tools for success in life, while the other side believes that education itself is an important goal. No area of study brings this debate to a head more than the study of philosophy. Philosophy, for those who belong to the practical side of the debate, is an utter waste of time. Philosophy provides very few tools for success in life, they say. A common question for someone studying philosophy is, what are you going to do with it? Those on the other side of the debate, those who value education for knowledge itself, can see that the study of philosophy has many important benefits. Okay, so now we ask ourselves, what is this paragraph about? Carolina, thanks for that thumbs up. It's good that you're acknowledging that we're talking about the main ideas here. So what is this paragraph about in your words? So many of you know how to do these list of headings now. You read the paragraph and you ask the question, what is it about? Ois, it's not necessarily about so yes, Ois, but it's too simple. Okay, your answer is too simple. It's too concise. Sammy says it's two method of studies. Still not accurate enough, Sammy. Natalie says the approach. Abhishek says the two sides of philosophy. I don't think it's the two sides of philosophy that we're talking about here, really, Abhishek. Try to be a little bit clearer. Okay, Titan, that's more accurate. So Titan says two sides of arguments towards philosophy. Okay, all right, that's much better. Yeah, and what are those two sides? Well, one side says philosophy is not practical. The other side says, well, philosophy has the goal of education, so it's good. Okay, Rajveer says two sides of education towards philosophy, right? So Titan has kind of the best answer so far. If I had to choose who's giving the best answer, so two perspectives in education about philosophy. It's not two sides of philosophy, Ali. It's the same mistake that Abhishek's making. It's not two sides of philosophy. It's two arguments of philosophy, as Rashika very correctly put it. So very good job, Rashika. All right, now let's match the best heading. So which one of these matches closest to two perspectives or two arguments about philosophy? Okay, which one do you think has the closest match? Which one would you say? Okay. Yeah, very good. Good job. Sammy and Rashika both said it's 8. It's a central debate in education, the two perspectives on philosophy, right? Those two perspectives on philosophy is the central debate in education. So very good. Okay. The value of education and practice, the problem with that, Ois, is it's only one side. Okay. So a central debate in education is philosophy worth studying for knowledge itself, or is philosophy a waste of time because it doesn't give any practical skills? All right, so yeah, so very good. So you would put in for number 14 in your answer sheet VIII, which is of course the Roman numeral 8, and then you move on to the next paragraph. Okay, let's pick up some speed now. By the way, my rate of reading, so my fluency in reading, is absolutely okay for you to do well on the IELTS. You do not need to read faster. Okay, here we go with B. Okay, the word philosophy derives from the Greek for love of wisdom. Just as it was in ancient Greece, it is those people who love wisdom, knowledge, and truth who study philosophy. However, we do not live in ancient Greece where people had slaves to do all of their chores, such as working in the fields. So what place does philosophy have in today's society? Okay, so what is this paragraph about? What's the main idea of this paragraph? What is the main idea of this paragraph? Yeah, so Ois says it's the origin of the name philosophy. Sammy says it's the origin of philosophy. I agree. Yeah. So it's basically the definition of philosophy, right? Another way that we could say it is it's a definition. It's giving us the definition and the origin of philosophy. That's what I would say. So the definition and the origin of philosophy. Chrysolite, very good. A lot of you got that. Okay. So the roots, you could also say the roots of philosophy, which is what? It's the love of wisdom, the love of seeking truth. Okay, so that's what it is. All right. Okay, which is the closest match? So what is the closest match to the definition and the origin, the birth of philosophy from this list? You'll pick it out. So think about, when you're thinking about list of headings, think often as descriptive paraphrasing. Okay, descriptive paraphrasing. So which one of these is the closest to origin of philosophy as descriptive paraphrasing? Oh, I just turned my back for 2 seconds and there's lots of 5s up there. Very good. Tanya, make sure to put the Roman numeral 5. Philosophy as the pursuit of knowledge and truth. Yeah, it's the origin, right? It's the definition. Absolutely. Very good. And 5 is the correct answer because that is the descriptive paraphrasing of the origin of philosophy. Okay, very nicely done. A lot of you are really picking this up now. It's great. So again, all we do here is just put Roman 5 into the answer sheet and we're good to go. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's keep moving along. So C, here we go. Read with me again, read out loud. So if philosophy teaches anything, it teaches the ability to reason. With reason, one can construct, analyze, and find faults in arguments. For example, if all men are mortal and Socrates is mortal, is Socrates a man? What if we change the question to if all men are mortal and Socrates is a man, is Socrates mortal? Once a student is schooled in the ability to reason, he will see right away that these two questions are very different. As it turns out, the first is an invalid argument, while the second is a very much valid. Perhaps the next question of the skeptic is, what is the value of reason? This is a very important question. Surely, if philosophy is all about learning to reason, then an ability to reason must be a valuable trait. Arguably, the ability to reason forms the foundation for all knowledge. Okay, what is this paragraph about? What's the main idea here? What's being introduced? And I mean, there's a word here that keeps repeating and repeating, so you should be able to figure it out pretty quickly what this paragraph is about. Ali says, the importance of reason in philosophy. Yeah. Ali, watch your word order. You have the right idea, just watch your word order. So, the importance of reason in philosophy. Abhishek says, reason as forming knowledge. Nikhil says, reason is the foundation of knowledge in philosophy. Okay. Sammy says, the logic of philosophy. Okay. Pipi says, philosophy teaches reasoning. Yeah, those are all very good. Carolina, the importance of reasoning in philosophy. Okay, or the value of reasoning in philosophy. All right. Perfect. So you thought about your answer. Which one of these is the closest match? And again, you should be able to find it pretty quick. Mahmoud says the thinking method of philosophy. That works as well because the answer, Mahmoud, is reasoning is the thinking method of philosophy, right? So, very good. Okay, Ois says number 4. No, that's just a detail, Ois. That's not the main idea. That's just an example. Okay, list of headings. It's the heading for the paragraph. It's not a detail. It's the main idea. Okay, and everybody who picked 1, you're absolutely right. Reason as the basis for knowledge. That's what this paragraph is saying, is that philosophy respects reason or finds reason as the key for the basis of seeking the truth. or knowledge. Very good. Okay, nicely done. Okay, let's keep going. So you put 1 for that answer. Okay, let's go to D. Here we go. Read with me. If an individual holds an opinion which is believed wrong or incorrect, it could be important to convince them of the right opinion. There are a number of ways to attempt this. They can be intimidated, belittled, or bullied into accepting the opposite opinion. However, having a strong opinion does not mean the opinion is any more correct. Many people have strong opinions on all manner of subjects, but of course, strength of feeling does not correspond to validity, and it follows that someone who belittles another's opinion is not necessarily the one in the right. When two men engage in a fist fight over whose opinion is correct, the winner of the fight may not have the correct opinion, but merely the correct fighting technique. In any disagreement, the right tools must be employed. In a battle of brawn, the tool is strength. In a battle of wills, the tool is perseverance. In a battle of words, the tool is reason. When arguing with reason, facts of the matter are stated and conclusions are drawn from those facts accordingly. All right. So what is this paragraph about? What's the main goal of this paragraph? What is it telling you, the reader, about reason? So the previous paragraph introduced the concept of reason. This paragraph continues in more detail about what reason really is. Okay. Ali says that having a strong opinion doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. That's part of it, Ali. That's not the whole idea. Ois says it's the method philosophy uses to convince others. In some ways it's right, Ois, but it's a bit general. Tanya says the right tool in argument. Okay. Pipi says reason as a tool in philosophy, not opinions, Pipi. Okay. Rajveer, very good. So Rajveer says right tools based on the situation. If you're fist fighting someone, be quick, be strong, have a good fighting technique. If you're arguing with someone, have good logic, use good words, convince them, right? So there's different ways to win in a situation. Using the right tool is important. So Carolina says the tools for the right argument, the right tools to win the argument, right? Okay. Heiji says the importance of using philosophy's tool set in a debate. Heijin. Mahmoud says the convincing methods and the opinions differentiation. Careful with your word forms, Mahmoud. I kind of get where you're going with it. Okay, so let's see. Which one of these is the closest match? Is one that should kind of just jump out at you right away. Okay, there's definitely one that is like, oh, okay, that's definitely what the paragraph is talking about. What is it? Yeah, Rajveer says, I think it's number 7, just simply using the right tool. Okay, if you're going to argue with someone to convince them about an idea, use the right tool. Yeah, so exactly, using the right tool. Sometimes that's all you need to be successful and happy in life is just use the right tool. Okay, yeah, using the right tool. Very good, number 7. And that's actually the one that's given for us, so we're definitely sure that's correct. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Here we go. Reason is fundamental to almost every intellectual endeavor one can imagine, just as mathematics is fundamental to almost every scientific endeavor. Maths is the language of science, just as reason is the language of discourse and debate. Accordingly, just as society needs experts in mathematics, so society needs experts in reason. The argument should follow that as we all learn mathematics as children and young adults, so we should learn the precepts of reason. I couldn't agree more. We all do better if we learn that. What is this paragraph about? Again, quite simple. Now you're on a roll. Your brain is really clicking with the information. You're looking at the main idea here. What is this paragraph about? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at? Ali, I don't think it's versus reason. You're right. It's math, but it's not versus because they're not. So the paragraph isn't really saying that they're opposite. Ois says the relationship between math and reason. That's better, Ois. Yeah, it's more of a relationship. Okay. Sammy, it's not really the difference between math and philosophy or math and reason. Okay. Yeah, Rajveer, very good. It's the similarities between math and philosophy or math and reason. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's not necessarily the differentiation, Mahmoud. It's more the similarities. Look at this sentence here. Just as mathematics is fundamental to almost every scientific language, just as, okay? See these ases, okay? Accordingly, as society needs experts in math, so society needs. The argument should follow that as we all learn. Okay, as is actually similar to the word like or similarly. Okay, everybody clear on that now? So when we use the, it's a coordinating conjunction here. So when we use the as to connect ideas, we actually mean like or similarly, not in contrast or not opposite to. Okay? So this is a comparison rather than a contrast. Okay? Be very clear on the difference between comparing and contrasting. Comparing is positive, positive. Contrasting is positive, negative. In this case, we're going positive, positive. So math is to science as reason is to debate. So similarly to, similarly to. It's not a differentiation, it's drawing a similarity. Okay? Pay attention to the ases. Okay? Like, similarly. Okay? Control that part of your discourse. Okay, so let's go back to, and you'll see why this is so important in just a moment here. Okay, IELTS is testing you. IELTS is really testing you, especially at the Band 9 level. Okay, because Band 9 is for lawyers, doctors, and they have to know this. Okay, so which one of these is correct? Okay, absolutely, Mahmoud, yeah. Okay, so the correct answer here, which one do you think it is? So Carolina says it's 2. Everybody agrees that it's 2. Yeah, so the answer is 2. Okay, this is correct. The relation between math and reason, or reason and math. Now, if you make the mistake of thinking it's the differences, then you could choose this one here, and this would be the wrong answer. Okay? So that's why it's so important, okay? IELTS is really kind of, it's not tricky. They're just actually testing your logical use of the English language at an expert level. A Band 9 expert user of English would recognize that this paragraph is a relationship between reason and math rather than a difference. Okay? So, yeah, Rajveer, you could consider that a trap or just checking how well you understand it. Okay? All right. So pay attention. Make sure that you do not confuse comparisons and contrasts. Okay? Comparisons and contrasts. All right. Let's keep going. Here we go with F. Okay, above all, philosophy is pure. Certainly, reason is useful in all areas of life, but that does not mean that philosophy's value lies only in its usefulness in the day-to-day. Philosophy is the pursuit of knowledge for the sake of knowledge. There is a beautiful human quality expressed in this. Every other academic discipline is knowledge for some empirical pursuit. For example, engineering is knowledge so that we can construct buildings. Chemistry is knowledge so that we can make drugs. And biology is knowledge so that we can stay healthy. Philosophy has no tangible outcome outside of the pure pursuit of knowledge. The only other discipline which comes close in this regard is mathematics. One is purity in numbers, and the other is purity in words. Okay, what is this paragraph about? It's quite clear, I think. They repeat the words several times. So, what are we talking about here? What are we discussing? Can anybody tell me? What are we looking at? Nick Hill says pure is beautiful. The significance of philosophy. Abhishek, philosophy is a pure subject like math, right? Yeah, pure in numbers, pure in words. Yeah, absolutely. Mahmoud, here it's different from others, right? So philosophy, unlike many other subjects, is pursuing the pure knowledge, right? Okay. Carolina says pursuit of knowledge for itself. Yeah. Ali says philosophy is pure knowledge. I like that. Ali, so philosophy is pure knowledge is good. Okay. Chrysolite says purity of philosophy. Sure. I like that. Yeah. It's the purity of philosophy and the purity of math versus other subjects which are for some kind of a goal. Which one of these matches best for this one? Best match. Best match. What do you think? Yeah, just simply purity is beauty. So it's beautiful to just purely pursue knowledge or pursue numbers as opposed to having some kind of a goal in our minds. Okay, so XI, yeah, this is the closest. Is it a perfect answer? I don't think so. So I would argue with the IELTS people that, hey, maybe this isn't the best heading. Purity as beauty in philosophy. I would finish with in philosophy, but it's still the closest and best answer. Okay. Philosophy as the pursuit of knowledge and truth cannot be the right answer, Carolina. It's a good question, but it's not the right answer because this is the best answer for paragraph, and this is the tricky part of it, for paragraph B. Okay? It's the definition. You can only have one answer for one paragraph, and that answer is better for that paragraph. So always pay attention, because sometimes you will have situations, especially with introductions and conclusions, where it looks like you can have the same list of headings for two paragraphs. In that case, always look for which one is the best answer for that paragraph. Okay? All right? So be really careful about that. All right? I'll even make a note about that as kind of a closing kind of warning. So for a list of headings, often you will be in a situation where one of the choices seems correct for multiple paragraphs. Be careful to choose the paragraph that best suits that heading. Okay? You have to be really, really careful. Okay? All right? 5 is better for B. Okay, is that clear for everyone? All right, hopefully. Okay, so this one here, for paragraph F, purity is better. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's get to this question here. I'm going to leave this one and those multiple choice questions for you because I think it would be just a rush now to go through these. And list of headings questions really is the most valuable because once you figure out list of headings, that will really help you to answer the rest of the questions for that passage. So try this one on your own and then send me the answers. Here you have some choices, okay? You can check the video at the end later on. And send me your answers and I'll send you back the answer key, okay? So I'll send you back the correct answer key for these last two multiple choice and for this paragraph completion. Send your answers to my email, okay? Adrian@aehelp.com, and then I'll send you back the correct answers and you can check it out and compare. All right, everyone, I will be back in about 30 minutes with listening section 1, section 2 practice, or part 1, part 2 practice, I should say. Hopefully you'll hang around for that. Lots of members in today's class. That was really great to see. You're very welcome, everyone. You're absolutely welcome. I hope you've learned lots, some new tips, some new perspectives on this. Hang around. Again, we'll be back very soon. I'm Adrian, signing out from Budapest for now. See you shortly. Bye.